Hi again, everybody. Welcome back to Schreiner University. My name is Ted Davis. This is Sit Down with Ted, and we've got exciting news here at Schreiner. We announced this over the summer that football is back at Schreiner University. The last time football was played at SU was 1957, and a varsity schedule will be played in 2026. A developmental year will be next year in 2025, and in 2024, a football coach was hired, and we're going to introduce you to him today. Ken Treschitta is the new head football coach at Schreiner University, and welcome to Tejas.
Thank you, Ted. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here. Excited to be part of the sit-down.
Yeah, before we get into what it's like to start a program, let's get some of your background. You've been a head coach before. You were up in New England at a university. Tell us about that.
Yes, sir. Well, I haven't been a head coach before, but I was been part of a startup football program before. Before I got hired here at Schreiner, I spent 8 years at the University of New England. We started the football program from the ground up there. UNE was very similar to Schreiner, small, Division III, high academic. And I got hired in the summer of 2016, and we built the program from the ground up, starting with the initial recruiting class and a developmental season, and then 5 NCAA seasons. And it was pretty special. Our last year there, we ranked in the top 5 in the region and had a winning record and did some remarkable stuff.
East Coast guy?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Richfield, Connecticut, which is about an hour outside of New York City. Small town, similar to Kerrville, about 25,000 people. So,
now, did you play college football?
I did. I had a great career. I played high school football at Richfield High School, and then after, I played my college ball at Catholic University in Washington, D.C., another small Division III school.
What position?
I played safety, outside linebacker, and I returned some kicks.
Yeah.
So.
What was your high school nickname? The Richfield?
The Richfield Tigers.
The Tigers. Okay.
Yes, sir.
We have the Antlers here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
I'm aware.
And, this is where you're going to be playing your games for a while until we can build an on-campus stadium. But that's as nice a stadium as you're going to be able to find, isn't it? Antler Stadium right here in Kerrville?
Yes, sir. I spent a ton of time at Antler Stadium already, going to open practices, watching them practice, scrimmages, games. Antler Stadium has got a great game day atmosphere on Friday nights, and we're hoping in 2026, Saturday afternoons and Saturday nights will be just as good.
What was it about the Schreiner job that attracted you to leave Maine and come to Texas? That's quite a road trip.
Yes, sir. To me, Ted, on the surface, it checked 3 boxes. Startup football program. I consider myself a program builder, and that's a passion of mine. So startup football, great academics, and then Texas high school football is the best in the country. So the recruiting base was. Yep. You can't get a better recruiting base than Texas. So.
All due respect to California and Florida, they have
sir.
good athletes. But if you look at NFL rosters every year, there are more kids on NFL rosters who played high school football in Texas than any other state.
Any other state, yes, sir.
So what's the first thing you do as a startup program? No football here since 1957. You're starting with a clean slate like this table. There's nothing on it. So where do you start?
Yeah, that's a great question. It can be overwhelming. There's so much to do, and there's so much that you want to do in a short amount of time. But for me and for us, we identified 4 areas that we wanted to kind of attack head on in the early stages. And we felt if we could attack these areas and have success in these 4 areas, we'd lay a solid foundation. And that's recruiting, scheduling, facilities, and equipment. So those are the 4 areas or the 4 aspects of our program that we've kind of dove on head first into.
And the university has committed to this. I mean, Eddington is the former gym.
Yes, sir.
That's being completely redone into a weight room and practice. It's not a practice facility, but it's for the football team, and that has to be exciting.
We're very excited about that. And August 28th, they broke ground on it.
Yeah.
Brand new weight room, 5,000 square feet, and we're going through the process now of features and designs and what that's going to look like. 120-person locker room, and then after the soccer season concludes, that field to be repurposed as our practice field.
So. And artificial practice field, right? Going in, it'll be artificial turf.
We'll have grass. Yeah. I believe I'm not sure, but we have to go look at that. But the soccer I think men's and women's soccer team will get turf. So.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Ken Treschitta is the new head football coach here at Schreiner. 2026. So
Yes, sir.
You have to hire a staff, but you can't do it right now because everybody's got a job. So when do you start hiring a staff?
November, December, we'll start to fill out our staff. With me getting hired relatively late in the, in the coaching calendar, late mid-July, we thought it was best to wait until after the season and start to fill out a staff. So after this football season, we'll start to bring on staff members. Yes, sir.
What's the key to recruiting Texas? Is it getting to know the high school coaches, and how do you approach that?
I think that's a big first step. Is getting to know the high school coaches. Bringing the mission and vision of Schreiner and our football program to high school football coaches in Texas. If you think about it, Ted, right, the Schreiner brand is strong, right, throughout Central Texas.
Yep.
But to the high school football community, it's kind of an unknown. It's unknown, and it's it hasn't really, Schreiner hasn't been really on the high school football radar,
because you're dealing with kids who were born in 2000 and they last played here in 1957. So.
Yeah, yes, sir. Shoots, it's not even on the radar of some of their parents. But it's go out, it's bring our mission, it's bring our vision to coaches, build a relationship there, and then find and identify prospects who have integrity, academics, and toughness, and recruit them and build a relationship there.
Waiting's got to be hard for you because as a coach, you want to get out there on the practice field and have some pads popping and that kind of thing, and you're just doing office work right now. So what's that like?
It's unique. It's unique for sure. For the first time in many years, I'm not part of a team. We're not coaching. And it can feel incomplete, and I can feel out of place. Certainly, it's some different things, but I know that the work that we're doing, the progress that we're making right now, the sweat equity that we're putting in is going to lay a solid foundation.
When did you get interested in coaching, or when did you get the coaching bug? Because it is kind of a bug for coaches. It gets in your, it noodles into your body and doesn't go away. When did you get that?
I think, I love sports. As a kid, I loved being around sports. I loved all sports. I knew sports was a passion. When I got to high school, my head high school football coach was a really strong influence on me, and just seeing the way he could galvanize and unify a group of men, and it wasn't necessarily a screamer or a yeller, but the way he had command of the team and the way he could motivate and unify a group of men, that resonated with me, and I thought maybe coaching something that I want to get into, and that was fortified in college. I had a great high school football experience and a great college football experience, and it was really fortified in college, and just the where a lot of my values were reinforced, and values in football were reinforced, and made me want to do it. So yes, sir.
Were you an NFL fan growing up?
I was an NFL fan. So I was a
Giants, Jets,
Miami Dolphins fan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because
of Dan Marino, your hero?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was, I played quarterback when I was younger. I was a little bit taller, about the same size. So I played a little quarterback when I was younger, and a big Dolphins fan. And I stuck with them since then.
Maybe the best arm ever.
The release, and can you imagine him with a spread offense?
I know,
these
today
days?
in his prime. Oh, that arm was golden.
How about yourself?
My first sports hero was Donnie Anderson at Texas Tech.
Yes, sir.
The Golden Palomino, the Stingray, the Stinnett Stingray. He was an All-American at Texas Tech on a mediocre team, but then he got drafted by the Green Bay Packers and was on their first 2 Super Bowl teams.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my first hero. We had season tickets to Tech games. I grew up in Lubbock and that kind of thing. So your family adjusting to Texas, how's it going?
Family's doing well. They came down with me, mid-July. My wife's, I give her a ton of credit. We were down here doing the press conference and doing some of the media stuff, and down here for about a week. She found a house, found a preschool, daycare, all that stuff. So she was the real MVP, and she's doing great. She teaches at Tally Elementary. Yeah. Our 2 children are adjusting, acclimating well. So,
you've been into HEB a lot?
Yes. we're we're not Texans, but we've embraced HEB for sure.
You learn when to go and when not to go.
Yes, sir.
About noon on Sunday after church, don't go in there.
No.
It is a madhouse.
I've made that mistake.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I have too. You avoid that. Tex-Mex, chicken fried steak, or barbecue?
All three.
Okay. There you go.
Ted, I'm a former football player, man. I can eat, so I
Bluebell ice cream?
Yes,
you
sir.
Discovered that?
Yeah, yes, sir.
For those of you who don't know, if you're not a Texan, it is the best ice cream ever made. I'm sorry. Everybody else is in second place. Bluebell is absolutely the best. It is. So you've got an expansion team.
Yes, sir.
And I was with it. I wasn't with it, but I was covering an expansion team in Dallas when the Mavericks were an expansion team. They won 15 games out of 82. So the first couple of years, the W's might not stack up that much, but what will be success for you in those first 2 years as you build this program?
Ted, that's a great question. And, whether we're 5-1, like we were at UNE at one point ranked, top 5 in the region, or whether we're just starting out playing developmental games. Success for us will still be defined by growth and progress. Yeah. And that to me is how you define success. It's not necessarily the scoreboard, wins and losses, but are our players growing? Are our players developing? Are our players progressing? We talk about, and it's on social media, it's climb, right? Mm-hmm. We say climb. And that's not just a cool hashtag for social media, but are we climbing? Are we ascending? Are we taking steps up that mountain? So to me, that's how we'll, and again, not just on the field, but in the classroom and here in the Schreiner community. Are we climbing? Are we taking steps forward?
So you hire a coach,
yes,
hire
sir.
a staff after this season.
Hopefully more than one.
Right, you'll be more than one. But then when will players start to show up on campus?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Next summer?
Next summer,
yeah.
Early August, our players will report for training camp or preseason camp, and then it'll be a traditional preseason camp, and we'll play 5 to 7 developmental games, which we're excited about. We have 5 of those 7 to 8 scheduled already.
Okay,
with room to add a couple more. So that's what it'll look like.
And then the fall of 2026.
Yes, sir.
A varsity game at Antler Stadium, and can't wait.
Full-fledged members of the SCAC. So we're in a good football league, really competitive league, and we're excited about it. So.
Ken Treschitta has been our guest. He's the new head football coach at Schreiner University. Thank you. Good to meet you.
Thanks, Ted.
All right.
Appreciate it.
See you next time on SchreinerMountaineers.com.